Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are
Dino, and
I'm Nikki Salas.
welcome for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Yes. Before we go into this video, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so you can get notified of new videos. We share not just the videos, right? We like to share some of our fun. Like we had the pleasure of going to Universal Studios for the first time.
That was a great time.
In Orlando. Oh my God, yes, we met some of the family up there and we had a ball. I think we was probably on more rides than the kids.
Right. And if you don't know, this is the last year they're closing Universal Studios.
Supposedly, yeah.
No, it's not supposedly. They said it's in concrete. Yeah. Yeah, so we got a chance to go.
Yeah, the one in Orlando, because
Yes.
it's one in California as well.
Absolutely,
We had a great time, and we love sharing our fun. You know, as much as we can, right? You know, you can't share every single thing, but we love to share our fun because it's good for us to be able to do these things, experience these new life events with each other, but we also love sharing them with you, and we're loving the feedback that you all have been giving us. So we just want to say that we appreciate you all.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah,
but
baby, is this a new shirt?
yeah, it is actually.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you like that? Got
Yeah,
what is
it's
that? The
nice.
mountains and the beach.
Yeah, you know
Okay.
I love water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. Makes me feel good. Okay. All right. So, but even in fun, which my wife likes to show, through our lives, but we also learn lessons and we learn things about ourselves. Sometimes there's things that we talk about, of course, not on camera, but this particular thing that we want to talk about today, we believe that it applies to a lot of people out there. And go ahead, babe. What's the subject?
Particularly a certain group of people on this planet, right? It's women, and we recently, me and my husband discussed about what do I want, and I believe I have been saying what I want for a while, and he had this epiphany, his aha moment, and you want to tell everybody?
It's not just because I have not just heard this from her. I've heard this from other women also in conversations that this is what women truly want from a man, and
or their partner.
Right? Exactly. So she had mentioned, and she said it quite a bit actually, but sometimes when women say things, a man's perspective or perception is totally different, right? So we were having a conversation not too long ago outside on the patio, and she was talking about women wanting safety or security,
protection,
which that entails a whole bunch of things, right?
In a man's mind versus a woman's mind, right?
Right, but even in women too, their idea of protection and safety might be something totally different.
Right.
But I figured out what, in this conversation we had, what she was yearning for.
For a long time, even before I met Dino.
Yes. And of course, we're all built up from our past experiences, things that we've been through, things that we're overcoming. And it's good that when you overcome something, you're able to conversate about it, not in an arrogant or boastful way, but in a way that, like, man, I truly understand what she means now. And I believe in a man, you should always be yearning and wanting to know more, not just about yourself, but about your partner, about your relationship.
Yes.
Because the more that you're able to see in your relationship, the better and more powerful, more abundant your relationship is going to be when both people have the same clarity and the same vision. Okay?
Or walking towards, because are we going to think exactly the same? No. But when we seek to understand someone, can we get fully in someone's mind, but again, to understand someone as much as possible so you can know them better, right? That helps you, like Dino said, that helps you to know how to relate with that person, how to be with that person,
Right.
how to care for that person.
And you can't really do that unless you see. Because if you lack that type of vision or that type of clarity, you can't fix something in yourself or how to make the other person's relationship with you even better when you see and understand and comprehend what they're trying to say. Now, I will say this. Sometimes it takes a while for a man or a woman to try to understand what that person is really feeling, because it's so hard for a person to, because you're outside of their body, right? So they might be trying to express and explain what it is to them, but the other person just does not get it, and sometimes it takes a while to fully understand what someone is feeling or trying to express,
Right.
or trying to get someone else to comprehend and feel what they're feeling. And sometimes it takes years, but I know for me as a man person,
Because it's not meant to happen overnight, right? When you're learning someone, it's going to be a consistent process. I mean, because as we change, as we transform, we are even getting, to know these new parts of ourselves. So it's not difficult to learn somebody, right, or to know somebody, but you're still learning in the process. We think, okay, when we met 10 years ago, that this is
10
Nikki.
years, been 10 years, baby.
Yes, our anniversary is coming up.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
We think, this is what this person is. This is what Dino is. This is what Nikki is. That's what we were then. So we are learning throughout the years, right? We're getting to know each other. Sounds like that's on getting to know.
Right.
You get to know, so, and while you're getting to know yourself, I'm getting to know myself. That's what part of a relationship to me is based on. As I get to know myself, I'm getting to know how I align with how Dino,
yes.
Is and
But
where he's going in his
It's
life.
the willingness to want to know, okay?
Yes,
because
yes.
if you don't want to know and you're stuck in your ways, and I thank God for me personally, I'm always on that journey about myself where I want to know if I don't understand something, give me clarity. I want to see, I want to know more. I want to be a better husband. I'm sure she wants to be a better wife. And sometimes it takes a few times to go around the sun, right, or around the earth to understand something.
Yeah, you're trying different things out.
So
what is it?
I noticed that, and not just, when we were having a conversation, but there's a recollection that I had that you would always say, I want safety, I want protection, I want to feel safe.
Yes.
Now, again, my idea of what safety is might be totally different, right? Two different visions inside our minds. So mine is like, well, I we pay the bills. I'm every day. I'm here for you. I'm not doing these things,
and that's what most
I'm here
men
physically,
say, right? Right.
I'm doing my husband duties, and what's the problem?
Right.
And, you got a problem. I don't, and that's how we think sometimes, right? But if you're seeking understanding and get the fullness of a relationship, you want to try to hear, right? And listen.
Listen.
What does that mean to her? So,
Because listening and hearing are two different things.
I asked her yesterday, I'm like, well, what does that mean for you? Like, you say you want to feel safe and secure and soft, because a lot of women, sometimes they feel, and I know most people know this, that there's a lot of single women out there that have taken on the brunt of raising children by themselves.
Well, not only single women that are in a relationship.
Well, that's true. You're right. Absolutely. Where they're taking on most of the duties and they're not sharing daily life together,
Mm-hmm.
right? One's doing more than the other when one has to bring more balance to the life, you know.
So what protection and safety means for this woman is that, and also with that, I would tell Dino that I want to use my ability to be soft, to be
Now, what does that mean though? Because
right.
soft people
Right.
mean weak, weak,
So,
right?
But for a woman,
Right.
that this woman wants the ability to be soft, that I want to feel safe and protected. So again, what Dino said, what his understanding or what his definition was safety and protection was, make sure I'm paying the bills, make sure, nobody's trying to, physically harm me, just different things like that. And hey, a lot of you all out there might, have or believe the same. And that's okay. Because that's what is taught, especially in our age group, right? We're seasoned people, right? We're middle-aged people. And men growing up at that our time, right, was, you pay the bills,
go to work every
go to
day,
work, everything should be fine, right? Be the provider, that's the protector, right? But again, for this woman, my definition of protection is, those things are nice. Not to saying that, to X those things totally out. But my definition, my real definition, my deeper definition of protection and safety is that I am in a space where I am allowed and I feel secure. I feel okay with being myself, which is a woman, right? Which is, in this woman, I am female, right? So female for me is the ability to, just, hey, do, because we do different things in our roles, right? And you being a male, me being a female, being a man and woman, that I can be okay with telling you how I feel. I can be vulnerable with you.
There it is.
I can tell you how I feel. Like, again, we're in a different season of life, right? And I don't mind saying I am in a different season, a stage of my life called premenopause, right? And in this stage, which I am welcoming and I am learning this new stage, like we said earlier, we're going to be on a consistent process down here on this earth, right? We're on a journey, and it just doesn't stop when we get here. So in this new stage in life, I'm learning, how this fits in my life, but also he is learning how this fits in his life as well, because he is my husband. I am his wife. So I want to feel, I have to feel okay with being myself, having him, giving him how I feel about things, talking to him, me being able, because my needs is different than his, right? Again, me being just a different person, period. No one's needs is going to be exactly the same. So even if I tell him, sweetheart, I need to rest today, him taking in that, hearing me, and not saying, oh, okay, I don't understand what the big deal is, do this, do that, whatever. Like, okay, she said that she needs to rest.
Or I get an attitude because she says she's wants to rest today. Or,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and him knowing how I am, right, that
after 10 years,
right,
I've learned a few things.
Right. That, especially for me to say that, like I said outside of myself, like, okay, babe, no, I need to rest. Or sometimes I might tell him, because we love to have coffee talk in the morning, babe, I don't want to talk today. Him taking that in as, oh, okay, let me allow her to, not, she don't want to talk, but also what else is she saying? It might be something else that
Exactly.
You know, that's going on. Because again, you know, with me being in a premenopausal state in my life, you know, I am adjusting to different kinds of changes, right?
Such
So,
as emotions.
right. So he is so he's listening, which is different in hearing. He's listening to me, and he's also observing me, and he's putting or creating a space, also helping me to create a space where, okay, so she don't want to talk today, so that means she wants quiet, so let me not, you know, turn the TV up loud, or let me not make a lot of noise or whatever. And this is just an example, you know, and again, this is my definition of what this woman, this female wants, and me talking to him and feeling free to share with my husband, my partner in life, which I should be able to do, right? And this is why I say this. I say this because I have come from a past.
Okay.
I have come from a past where much of my life I have not been in relationships. I have not been in spaces. I have not been in a lot of good environments where I felt safe to be myself, safe to be just a female and be a woman. And also I feel that, you know, and I'm going to include some women, other women in on this, and please let us know in the comments, you know, tell us how you feel about this. Other women, you know, have you ever felt like, because this is, and I speak for myself, have you ever felt that you had to defend, you had to become hard because you felt like you couldn't be soft, you couldn't just be female, you just couldn't be a woman? And like Dino said earlier, you know, a lot of single women, you know, are taking on a lot of responsibility, you know, taking care of themselves, the household, and children. Not saying that men are not, but I'm speaking directly to women right now. And I know that's my history, right? My history has been raising children, you know, by myself, and being again in relationships. And not to fault these people, it was what it was. You know, I learned valuable lessons, and I hope they have as well. But who I was back then and who they were, we just were not aligning, and I felt unprotected. It could have been that they was giving me money and doing these things, or, you know, having these male roles of what they even thought a male was supposed to be, but it's really not what I needed. And I feel like I have been depleted, deprived for so long. It's the same thing as, you know, having your being depleted or of a certain nourishment, right? You know, you have not ate, you know, because there's a difference between eating food and getting nourishment, right? Nourishment is really what's good for you and beneficial for you, versus just filling your stomach up. And I feel like, you know, throughout years of being in relationships like that, that I became malnourished, you know, from not being in safe spaces.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's
yes.
her truth and her version. But I want to go a little deeper of what revelation I got in the conversation of what I saw in my wife in that moment, and what I heard, not only what she was saying, but I was hearing within myself, is that what has happened to her and to many people and to all of us, me included, where when she says when she wants to be herself, this is what I think she's saying, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But I feel that she has, in her past relationships, have tried to be vulnerable and tried to be honest and tried to express her feelings. But then sometimes the other person in her relationship used the very thing that she used against her, and in a way didn't honor and take her words as serious. So as a gift, right? So now a trust is lost, because wait a minute, I just shared myself, I opened myself to you, I was honest with you, and this is the thanks that I get. This is, you throw it back in my face, or you tread on the very words and my feelings that I expressed with you. right? Which I'm sure everyone has gone through at some time or another. So then what happens when that happens in a relationship? We become more subdued. We don't
more
share.
Guarded,
More guarded.
more hard, more
we
callous.
don't speak our truth. Where it's all ruminating inside our mind and our body, which causes ailments because we're not telling our truth. We're not trusting the individual. And I have always assured her that the type of man that I am, I would never do that to her because it was done to me and I know how it feels like. Sometimes we don't get the understanding in things. And I'm not, saying, well, yeah, I am saying sometimes you have to have a little empathy for people in your relationship because they don't see what it feels like. Or maybe it hasn't been done to them. Or maybe it has been done to them and they forgot.
Right.
And the very thing that was done to them, you're trying to do to somebody else. And sometimes, and this is why we're doing this podcast, to bring light and awareness to your relationship. If these words align with what you're feeling now or going through, the good news is that, and this is just for me, okay? Sometimes we try so hard to get the other person to understand you, and you can become so frustrated, right? Because, man, they just don't understand, or they're treating me like crap, or I thought I said this to them and they don't understand. Sometimes we have to go to God to change a person's heart because sometimes you can't, but sometimes another person outside of your relationship can bring light to an individual to where they say, man, that's me. I've done that to my wife, or I've done that to my partner, but there's always a way for healing. There's always a way to get better in the relationship. But to me, you just have to go to God sometimes and talk it out, right? And this is the way I see it, because the whole word is trust. Because when you equate the word protection, safety, if you add all that up, it's trust. So like when we go to God and pray in secret, right? You're trusting, you're opening up yourself to a deity or a God that you can't see, but you're expressing yourself, and they're not going to step on your words and mistreat, what you said to them. But the spirit in you is hearing everything that you're telling the spirit, the God in you, right?
Yes, also, going back to about what's defined as a husband's role, right? And again, talking of like how our generation was raised for the most part, that this is, the husband's role, this is the wife's role. Though throughout the years that has changed, right? Because women start becoming a big part of the workforce, decades ago. And many people in our generation are a household partners that are both, working, and are both providers now, right? And again, going back to, the husband is supposed to be, the provider, pay the bills, and again, mind you, women are doing the same. And, it used to be told that a woman, in my age group, or as I, was growing up, that this is what you look for in a husband, right? The same thing of what you said, that he has a good job, he could, take care of the bills, so forth. And I know a lot of people have heard this as well, especially in different kind of Tyler Perry plays, when he would play Medea, saying a 401k. And again, not to right, like you got a 401k, not to say that those things are not, helpful in a relationship, right? But it's part of the relationship. Now, let me just break that down a little bit further. One of the reasons why women seek that in a partner, as well as they self now, right? But the reason why they seek that in a partner is okay, if he is doing this in his life, then I should be okay. Not only financially, but he is moving in his life in such a way that he is protecting himself, and hopefully, because when he connects with you, he is thinking of you as well. Like, it's not just, my finances and what I got going on, it's what we got going on. But that's really what a woman, what I have learned to understand, that's what we are really seeking. That, oh, okay, so he has these things, you know, going on, so that allows me to feel safe financially. That he has, the job or the business or whatever. But that, and I'm saying this because that also is the same with feelings, right? Which is very important. That, oh, okay, we should be looking as well, not only at his finances and what he material, things he has going on, but really look into how he moves in a way that we can feel safe and protected. That, oh, he got me. That while you're dating or courting, as they used to say, while we're dating, like, I'm talking to him, and is he listening to me? Is he really listening to me? And also observing him. This is just a dating tip for single people. Also observing how he does with other people, right? Because that lets you know if he is taking other people's feelings into account and allowing them to be in a space where they could be okay. Because that lets you know, it gives an inkling or a glimpse to how he may be with you. So yeah, it's more than just the finances. It's
what
feeling vulnerable, feeling okay that you will be safe.
Well, what I'm hearing you say, all in a nutshell, is that both men and women think of the other person, mm-hmm. as well as you thinking of yourself. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's all inclusive. Like, mm-hmm. like we go into the Caribbean, all inclusive. Like, everything's included. Mm-hmm. It's not just, it's not a la carte. It's all inclusive.
Right.
So when you base a decision in your life, it's not just you by yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to take accountability in, okay, my wife, who's my number one, who's my partner, mm-hmm. How is this going to affect the both of us, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And that makes a person feel safe, because it's like, you're thinking, that's Alexa.
Excuse us. Alexa, stop.
So that's you taking in consideration mm-hmm. someone else. So then the woman or the man feels like, oh, they're thinking about me. Mm-hmm. I feel protected. Mm-hmm. I don't have to just think about myself all the time. Yes. I'm able to relax my mind and relax my thought because I know my husband got me. He's thinking of me too.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes. Uh-huh.
We just got it. All right. Yeah. Yes. So that's what I'm hearing right now. So even more, I'm going to implement that in our marriage mm-hmm. to make it even stronger. Is, okay, how is this going to affect my wife? Mm-hmm. And
I just want to add mm-hmm. So we talk about becoming hard and guarded, and and I believe, again, throughout the years, throughout time, women have unfortunately become more guarded, because they had to take on more than what was needed. Well, not to say needed, but they just took on more in their roles, and that's it's not healthy for nobody, especially women. It is my belief, and there are different studies out there that back this as well, that many diseases and disorders that women are taking on or having in their body is because of stress, right? And which we know stress, inflammation, is the biggest. It's the seed of many disorders and diseases. And again, like he was saying, that a woman wants to be able to relax and say, okay, I'm good. I get to be, vulnerable. I can trust. I can, oh, okay, well, he went and, I don't know, he took care of this. He got that. He got me. I can relax, because I'm here to tell you, when you relax versus stress, yes, relax helps us to put us at ease. It's putting our mind at ease. Promotes what's called homeostasis, harmony within the body, and it produces a conducive environment for our well-being. That is our emotions, our mind, our body, and of course our spirit, which is the best part of ourselves, the truest part of ourselves. It allows for the symbiotic relationship to be within itself. So I just want to talk about being guarded and becoming hard, right? And we might hear that term, that Jane Doe, it's so hard. But maybe she's become hard because she was not allowed to be soft, and she had to put up, this protection. Now let's think about being hard. Callous skin, right? How does callous skin form on the body? It's a protection mechanism. It's a protection mechanism, to protect the different, layers of skin. And that happens, like, especially like, with my husband, because he works a lot with his hands and
she's
business.
a nurse, so that's why we're going callous. Okay.
Right.
Right.
So, even with him, he would come home and his hands would be, callous, and mine sometimes too, from, doing different jobs, nursing jobs and so forth. But that's from, either
abuse of the hands.
Right? So it's injury.
Much,
it's trying to, protect from injury, or an injury has happened.
Yes.
Listen to that. An injury has happened, and the callous skin, or the skin, becomes hardened to protect. And
so on a spiritual level,
yes,
there's a covering, right? So you become covered spiritually, and I'm not going to emotionally, because you've had abuse, injury, but it's abuse, yes, right?
Yes,
and so safety, so safety, protection. That means something's attacking you. Attack, and sometimes you just want to let your guard down and just know that you're safe, that my feelings are safe in your hands.
Yes.
My thoughts are safe in your hands. My words are safe in your hands. I can cry, I can hug you, I can love you, I can kiss you, and I don't have to worry about you abusing my softness.
Yes.
But
and the woman that
but let me play devil's advocate on this too, because like you just said, some women have been conditioned to take care of themselves. I mean, let's just call a thing a thing.
Even in a partnership.
I got to take care of myself, as well as kids, as well as other responsibilities. So you become hard because no man has been there to help you to soften, the daily struggle of life, right? So I got to do everything myself. And that's why I believe a lot of women are frustrated and angry at their husbands, because they don't know how to articulate sometimes, like, dude, like, can you give me a hand? Not just your check. I need a hand.
Yes.
I need a hand.
And I need an emotional hand too. Like, hey, let me listen to, let me really know about your day, because to know about your day and what's going on in your life helps me to know about you and how I can care for you.
He cares about my day.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So I can trust to tell him about it. He's asking about it.
Yes.
He's wondering. He wants to know. He's asking. So I mean, there's so many different things of what protection is to a woman, but in this relationship, in this particular case, I thank God for the revelation of what safety and protection means to her, is to allow her to be vulnerable, allow her to be, not take on the brunt of, so much, not even so much physically, but even mentally. That's where a lot of the exhaustion is coming from. And we really don't talk about that, because you feel like, and I know I've heard some men say, well, you aren't doing nothing, I'm doing everything. But in their,
you don't want to tell a woman that, right?
But in their mind is always racing and thinking, and you become emotionally exhausted. And this is what I'm saying.
Mentally and physically exhausted, because what's going on in the mind is going on in the body.
Right, it's following.
I'm also,
but this is why I'm saying devil's advocate. Not just the men, but the women have to learn to let go too.
That's
because they've been so conditioned to do everything in their mind and for themselves. You know, sometimes you have to take a step back and see what's going to happen. You know, and allow things to unfold and allow the man to step up and do what he's going to do emotionally. You know.
If the house ain't gonna burn down, you know, if nobody ain't gonna get hurt, just like
that's my message for women. Take it easy, rest your mind.
Yes, you deserve that.
Rest your mind.
Yes.
Sit back, and you know, even with the kids and everybody, sometimes you got to take a step back and see. Okay, let me see what you're gonna do now. Let me see what's gonna happen.
Cause mommy need to take a break.
Well, and not just mommy, but everybody.
Yes.
Everybody needs to rest.
Yes.
Everybody needs to take a break.
Yes.
And understanding and knowing when that is for that particular person, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else, there has to be a rest.
And I'm here to tell you, you know, again, you know, speaking to much of my life being a, you know, taking on extra roles, right? That's how, you know, the cards, you know, were dealt. Being a mommy role, not saying I was a daddy, because I can never be a daddy, right? But taking on responsibilities that another partner or a father or another parent was supposed to have taken up. So in where I am in this season in life, you know, not only that, taking on extra responsibilities as far as a mother, girlfriend before, wife before, jobs, because those are responsibilities in relationships too, right? Commitments, right? I have learned, and I can say that I have finally arrived in a place that I understand the importance of rest. Didn't get it for a long time. Then I said, like, no, just gotta keep going, just gotta keep going. You know, energize a bunny, but that was a little robot bunny that was not a human, and even that he burnt out. Right, the little bunny burnt out, and I with that, you know, again, with all of the different roles I have played in my life, if I am not getting rest now, if I am not in a place, in a relationship, in a space, in the environment that I am allowed to rest, you know, which I am able to be in now, I just know it works for me. That it actually works for anybody that needs, you know, rest, because we all need rest in different amounts, right? But I'm just saying, a lot of it, you know, again, in the beginning of my life has put me in burnout, right? So with knowing that, being in a space, being in a relationship with a partner that understands that, it makes a big difference. Not just saying for him to take on extra roles and responsibilities, but him even telling me sometimes, which he does, who's like, babe, you know, don't worry, you know, don't concern yourself about it. You know, I got this. Because that was hard for me to do for a long time. And I am still adjusting to that, because I was used to taking on so many roles and responsibilities as a mother, as a previous wife, previous girlfriend, you know, jobs, nursing jobs, you know, just different things. It's refreshing to be in a space with someone that wants you to rest, wants you to be yourself, where you could just relax and
share the burden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, share, not, I don't want to call it a burden, but share the responsibilities.
Okay, that sounds better. I like that. I can deal with that, responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a burden if you think of it as a burden. So, I believe that's what a lot of the equation is to some of, you know, why people are stressed out. It's how we think about certain situations or we want someone else to do things how we expect them to do things, and in turn that causes stress.
Yes.
You know, but it's like I said before, learning to let go. Because
Yes.
if you're in a relationship now where you feel that you're overstressed, you know, I know a principle that, you know, a soft response calms things
Yes.
down.
It does.
Right?
It really
Because
does.
if you bring fire with fire,
Just
you're
gonna
gonna
blow
get
the
a
whole
whole
thing
blaze.
up.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole house is gonna blow up. So but you can only do it with awareness. Because if you have no idea and you're lost in your emotions, you are gonna go bonkers.
Yes.
Right? So it's important to stay, you know, conscious and aware, and have light in your heart and in your mind and in your life, so that you can say, you know what, God, take the wheel. Like how Jesus, take the wheel. That, you know, that's what that means. Let it go. You know, it's gonna be okay.
And when we have this awareness for self, we want to, and we seek, and we see that for other people. Like if I
It's
need,
possible.
right? If I need to rest, then he or she needs to rest as well.
But sometimes this is what somebody's response is. If I rest, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? And sometimes you have to step back so you can see who's gonna do it.
Right.
You know.
Or just wait. It get done later if it's not like important to be done right now.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what will happen when you take a step back, and how other people will step up and fill that role in. So that's just our tip for today, and we thank you for hearing us, and for allowing us to share our insight in our relationship, and hopefully, or I know it will be a blessing to you in your life.
So make sure you leave some comments or some good vibes, you know, down below. Let us know how you feel about the video. What are some of the ways that, you know, that you are, you know, seeking to, you know, change your relationship, whether that relationship be with yourself or your partner, or even give us some ideas or some questions that you want, you know, want of us, or things you want us to talk about.
Exactly.
It's time for me to rest now.
All right. Okay, we'll see you on the next one.
All right.